Alright guys, this is a video over significant figure rules. How to count them, when they count, when they don't count, when they're significant, and things like that. Excuse me, because I do have a little tiny baby beside me, and I have a 2-year-old, so it might get a little loud. Alright, the first rule says that all non-zero digits are significant. Remember that means anything between 1 and 9 are always going to be significant, they always count. Those are going to be the easiest ones. Rule 2 says that sandwich zeros are significant. What that means is that if they're sandwiched in between non-zero digits, they count. You can have a little sandwich like that, or you can have a great big sandwich. As long as they're in between two non-zero numbers, they're going to count. Trailing zeros are going to be significant if they have some of the following things. Remember, these are the ones that are tricky. Trailing zeros are going to count if there is a decimal somewhere in that number and they are behind a non-zero digit. It doesn't have to be right behind, but they have to be behind. This is what I mean by that. You can have this number. In this number, we have 1 sig fig, 2 sig figs, maybe. 1, oh no, having issues. 1 sig fig, 2 sig figs, 3 sig figs, and then we look at this last one. Is there a decimal? Yes, there's a decimal right here. Is this 0 behind a non-zero digit? Right there. Now, here's another number to look at. Let's look at this number. We have this number, 1. That's a sig fig. And then we have the next one that's a sig fig. And then we have this 0. That 0 is behind a non-zero digit, and there's a decimal. But what about these last two? Let's check it out. Is there a decimal? Still a decimal. Are these two behind a non-zero digit? Yes, they are. Alright, number 4. Leading zeros are never significant. Remember that these guys are leading zeros. None of those would count because they are all before that first non-zero digit. And then the last one is coefficients are always significant. Remember, this is in scientific notation. And it looks like that. If it's in the coefficient, those are always significant. It doesn't matter if there's a 0. All of them are going to be significant. Alright, let's look at some examples. Alright, here's some examples. Let's look. We have, here's this number, 230.4. Let's look at it. We have how many sig figs? Let's count. I always start from this side. I know that this is a significant figure, and I know that this is a significant figure, the one right beside it, because those are both non-zero digits. Okay? And then I know, so these count. And then I know that this one counts because it's also a non-zero digit. So the one in question is this 0. Here's what you have to think of. You have to think of rule number 3. Rule number 3 says that a 0, well actually let's look at rule 2. Sandwich zeros. This guy is in between a 3 and a 4. So he's sandwiched, so he counts. So this number has 4. Okay, let's look at another number. Check this one out. Think about it. Okay, let's look at it. The first 0 doesn't count because it's leading. And then we have 2 and 3, which are going to count because these guys are non-zero digits. And then this one, there's a decimal somewhere in that number, and it is behind a non-zero digit. So we have 3 sig figs. Alright, last one. Well, I'll say last one. Let's do 2 more. This number. Think about it and tell me how many sig figs. Here's a non-zero digit, and then here are 2 zeros. Are they sandwiched? No. Is there a decimal? No. Is it in the coefficient? No. So this only has 1 sig fig. And then last one. This is in scientific notation, so think about it. Everything in the coefficient counts. So count them. 1, 2, 3. 3 sig figs. Make sure that y'all do y'all's homework. It's that worksheet that you worked on in class on Friday. Make sure you have that ready for me to check tomorrow in class. Make sure you spread the word that this video is available, because some people didn't sign up for Remind 101. And I will see you on Monday.